Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to my channel, True Crimes Files. Nearly forgot that bit. This Nancy Guthrie case, it's really been doing my head in. We don't seem to be getting anywhere further, and I think we're 8 weeks into it now. I've come across some documents. Few of them don't mean shit hiatus to me. I don't understand what the documents is, but maybe some of you out there can determine what the documents actually mean. And if you do, please leave it in the comments because I'd really appreciate that. I'm not a detective, so I don't know what these things mean, but I just thought I'd share them and something different to all the normal stuff that's been going around. Firstly, housekeeping rules. When you come into my room, if you could click like, subscribe, notifications set to all, and share. I'd really appreciate this. Yeah, where do I start? Right, we'll start off with the original press conference that Chris Nanos did the day after the day that Nancy went missing, day after Nancy was missing. So I'll play that one first, and then I'll try and go through quite a few documents. I'm not going to read them all out personally because I have dyslexia and I get things all muddled up. So, words look like a jumbled mess to me. But we'll go to this one first.
That Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, was missing. We expended a lot of resources for a missing person.
The sound on my end is really low in my ears, so you might need to turn your volume up yourself. I can't think of any other way to make it louder at the moment.
We typically always do. Our search and rescue volunteers, our search and rescue teams, other agencies, Borstar from Border Patrol sent their canines out. They worked tirelessly all day yesterday and all day tonight. I'm sorry, all day yesterday and all last night. To no avail. As I said yesterday, we saw some things at the home that were concerning to us. We believe now, after we processed that crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime scene, that we do in fact have a crime, and we're asking the community's help. This community has always stepped up to help us solve some pretty tough crimes. I'm looking for that again. This is a 84-year-old lady who suffers from some physical ailments, has some physical challenges, is in need of medication that if she doesn't have in 24 hours, it could be fatal. So we make a plea to anyone who knows anything about this, who has seen something, heard something, to contact us. Call 911. We don't need another bad tragic ending. We need some help. Our team is the best. I couldn't speak any higher. I think you know that. We have done some great work with our partners in the Valley. This community, I have to give a lot of thanks to our law enforcement agencies all across this valley, whether it's the Tucson Police Department or some of the smaller agencies. They've all reached out. They've all offered to assist. The FBI, all of them. We work so close with them, and they are all plugged in. We'll continue to work closely with them. But what I really need is I need this community to step up and start giving us some calls. Let us know if you've seen something. We are right now at a time, and I apologize.
My cat's come to say hello.
Too softly. We are at a time where, in this investigation, we're now moving forward, where we need to depend on technology. Our license plate readers, our camera systems throughout the community, anything, everything. And we will download all that data we have from the home, from different pieces of technology we've gotten, and we will use that to our advantage. But the reason I
Don't
bring
sit
this
on my
up is that,
mouse.
I'm a cop. I hate politics, but I have to
Don't
remind
mute
our
me either.
political leaders that they need to quit this banter of every time law enforcement leaders come to you for a need, that you give up these ridiculous remarks about how it's going to be misused. AI is a bad, evil word. The cameras are very bad and evil. I'm tired of that. Those tools in the right hands with the right minds and the right approaches are extremely valuable to solving crimes just like this. We need that. We need more staffing. We need a lot of things. But what I really need is I need the community's help with this. So I want to make sure I didn't, before I take any questions, um, it is a crime scene. We know that. She needs her daily medication. And anybody that sees anything that even looks,
I'll be right back, guys, but I'll carry on playing it.
hey, maybe that's her, just take a quick picture and take a video, send it to us. The number is easy here locally, it's 911. You can contact our 88 crime and remain anonymous. You can call me, anybody. Uh, I am here to take any questions you may have. It will be a little limited. I apologize for that, but we do have a crime that we need to protect its integrity. I have here Sergeant David Stivers from our homicide team. He has been up all night, so bear with us if we are a little bit fuzzy in our answers or responses, but we're both here for any questions you may have. Let's start, please.
Recognizing your limitations, but can you elaborate at all on what makes you believe it's a crime scene as opposed to someone who left home and just couldn't find out what that?
Well, I think I told you she is very limited in her mobility, right? We know she didn't just walk out of there. That we know. There are other things at the scene that indicate there was she did not leave on her own. We know that.
If you're talking about plate readers, is there a vehicle associated with it?
We're when I told you we're now at the phase where we're looking at all the technology, all of that is being evaluated as we speak. Let me say this: we've not just thrown our search and rescue team out there. They are going to be doing some door to door with our criminal investigation team. It is not just our homicide unit. All of our criminal investigation detectives. I went out last night to the scene. There were probably 100 cars out there, all from the sheriff's department, all working this case. It takes a lot of manpower and a lot of energy. This team of mine worked throughout the night. They continue to work. David's had zero sleep, but he and his team are working as hard as they can.
Is there anybody else associated with her, a caregiver, family member, acquaintance, who is also missing in some of your?
No. The family, all of the family has been very cooperative with us. They're working with us. They're staying in touch with us. They have complete access to anybody on this department. Savannah has been in touch with us as well. We uh, our hearts go out to them. This is their mom. Uh, she's just a great lady, from what I've heard, and I feel for the family. We we just want to find her and bring her back safe.
Sheriff, you mentioned.
I just thought I'd play all this back again, just the very first press conference. I won't play all of it. I will skip some pieces because I can understand it might be a bit boring. So I just thought I'd remind us what he said in the first place, because he has landed up contradicting himself several times. So I'll play some bits of it for you.
That she didn't just walk out, but is there any like additional information that you can give us on what may have alluded to this being a crime scene?
You know, I wish I could. I really do. I know that everybody wants to know certain things, but do that for the just it would be inappropriate at this time. I'm thinking they spent some time looking for her themselves before they called us. So I'm guessing they're around 11. So they did some searching and realized we need some help, and they called 911.
Do you have any idea what time Nancy would have been taken from the home?
There's a lot of things working there, and I just can't say that right now.
You were not.
Oh my goodness. Clear the yard, whatever, and her house and that. But those people we'll be talking with and have talked to some of them already. Nobody actually lives with her, no. Like I say, she's of great sound mind, and she is mobile. It's just, it's a challenge for her to get, as the family says, she couldn't walk 50 yards by herself, so. Yes, national for sure. I'm hoping the national media's picked up on this. We've gotten a lot of reports, but statewide as well, with Amber Alerts, things like that. All of those things we use. Every tool we have, we will use. You guys are too easy. Thank you so much. I apologize for being late. I apologize for my political rhetoric of the Board of Supervisors or the City Council. I just get so frustrated, and you know, we just can't do this job without their support. We don't need political statements from the dais and mumbo jumbo. We need them to listen to their law enforcement leaders and really pay attention to the fact that we understand that there's a great potential for abuses in today's world with the technology that's available to us. But you have to, at some point in time, have some faith and trust in your leadership in the law enforcement community.
Yeah, well, we
to
don't
know
have
and
faith and
understand
trust
that-
in him, do
that
we?
We too were elected here to provide a service to our community. I can't think of a community in this planet that wouldn't tell you, number one is public safety. Everybody just wants to be able to know that they can go outside and enjoy their community and come home and be safe at night in their rooms, asleep in bed. And
I had
this
to make a cup of coffee,
lady
guys, because I was cold.
wasn't able to accomplish that. That's a sad statement. We need her back. We need to find her. And time is very critical. She is 84. She needs her meds. Her family needs her too. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, so that was his first press conference he had done. Let me just oh, I did stop sharing it. So yeah, so you know, not a great deal came out of that. We know he's gone back on some of his words, but also I wanted to show I don't know when it was, but Nanos did say to be careful of people doing false fundraising for Nancy. And where was it? Is that the one I'm doing? Yeah. So if I a minute. Oh dear. Where is it? Let me get rid of that page. I've got too many pages open, guys. I will find it. Right. So it's that one there. Can't make it any bigger. So got this one here. And no, that's not it, is it? But what one's that? Need to know. Bear with me, guys. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I had it on the right one. Just checking. Let me see if it moves. There we go. Got the right one now. Right, so in the People, Sheriff warns the public of fake fundraising campaigns tied to Nancy Guthrie search. No official GoFundMe page. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos urged the public not to send money to people claiming to be raising money to aid in the search for Nancy Guthrie. That was on Wednesday, the 25th of March. And it goes, what we need to know. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos warned the public not to give money to any claiming to be connected to the Nancy Guthrie. Billboards are funded through official channels, Nano said. Claims suggesting otherwise are fraudulent and will be investigated accordingly. Guthrie has been missing since the 1st of February, which was shortly after her birthday. After authorities said she was taken against her will from her home. As the search for Nancy Guthrie continues, the sheriff leading the investigation is warning the public not to give any money to fraudulent fundraising efforts. In a statement posted on social media, Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos asserted that no fundraisers or GoFundMe campaigns are associated with the search for Guthrie, who's been missing since the 1st of February. He said about billboards, Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today co-host Savannah Guthrie, was last seen on the 31st of January when she was dropped off at her home following dinner with family members. Authorities believe she was taken against her will sometime in the early hours of February the 1st. The case has gained significant coverage and public interest. As we know, this has gone pretty much crazy on the YouTube channels. Near enough everybody is talking about Nancy Guthrie. I've only been doing YouTube creation for about 5 weeks now. I believe, if my memory serves me right, this is the first time I've mentioned covering the case myself. I might have done the odd snippets and that, but I haven't gone into it a big way like some creators do. Mainly because they do it so much better than me. I'm still learning. It's going to take me a couple of months to find my feet, and then I'm sure I'll get there. So, investigators have since released the surveillance footage taken from Guthrie's doorbell. Well, we all seen that. Some people say it's one person visited on 2 different nights, and other people will say it was definitely 2 people at the time. And excuse me. So both authorities and the Guthrie family have offered a reward for information connected to the case. Savannah recently sat down with her co-host Hoda, I'm not going to pronounce her name, sorry, for her first interview since her mother was kidnapped. It is set to air Thursday the 26th of March and Friday the 27th. Someone needs to do the right thing, Savannah said through her tears. We are in agony. We are in agony. It's unbearable. Sorry. Anyone with information of Nancy's disappearance is asked to contact the phone number below. That's a different story. So they said that there is no GoFundMe campaigns official, and if they do find any, they will investigate it, and then it'll be classed as fraud. Well, when I was doing my searching this morning, after I read, he said there is no official GoFundMe page or any fundraising forms at all for Nancy Guthrie, I came across this page. Where is it? This one. So someone did start a GoFundMe page. So I hope that the Nanos, let me just take some water, guys. I'm hoping someone will sort of like pass this on to the authorities because it's not right. So this was done by Sean Breedham. And it goes on to say, Nancy Guthrie is currently missing and a concerned citizen. I am organising this fundraiser to support the Guthrie family in their search for answers. The family have received information that could potentially lead to Nancy's location, but it comes from sources that are less than credible and requires the purchase of Bitcoin to access. While there is no guarantee that this tip will bring Nancy home, the family is determined to explore every possible avenue in the hopes of reuniting their loved ones. Sorry. All funds raised will go directly to the Guthrie family for the purchase of Bitcoin. The goal of obtaining information that could help to locate Nancy. Any additional funds that remain after this effort may be donated to, so they're not claiming it will be donated if they raise, say, like enough money for the Bitcoin. It says may be donated to the FBI or the police to help to recoup resources spent on the ongoing search. This situation is urgent, and the family are doing everything they can to bring Nancy home safely. It does not matter how large or small your contribution is. Every bit of support helps to bring this tragic event closer to an end. If we all come together, I believe we can collectively do our part in bringing peace to the Guthrie family. I know if it was my mother or grandmother, I would appreciate every penny. Prayer. Let's bring this beautiful woman home to her children. So, her goal was 62,820. She has raised $2,180 dollars for things. She's had 67 donations. So 1 month ago, people have been donating $200. People have been donating $50, $25, $15, $10, $5, $7, $5s, $200s again, 50, $30, $100, and so forth. So you can see they're all donating. But I really feel sorry for those that have donated £100, not £100, $100, if it's just going to line that person's pocket and not go to the authorities. So, I mean, Sean Brennan donated £50, but if this was fraudulent, Sean could put it in and take it back out again. I know there are fees associated with GoFundMe, for when you withdraw money out and things. So, the person says they're from Tucson, Arizona, and contact them. But this fundraising page is still going on, because in the past, when I've gone to donate to someone, it says this fundraiser is no longer available. So this fundraiser is still going on. So, this needs to be reported to Chris Nanos, the FBI, or whoever needs to know, because, it's not fair if the money's not going where it's intended to go. So the next bits, I have come across some of these people I don't know. So you're going to have to excuse me. And like I said, if you know these people, please put in the comments what it is to help me to understand. So I came across this document, criminal complaint. In the United States District Court, Derek Kalala, state of birth, magistrate's thing. Complainant statement and facts constituting to the offence or violation. On or about the February the 4th, I need my glasses. That might help, mightn't it? And it might help if they were clean. Bear with me. Can't see through dirty lenses. That do. That's better. I can see. On or about the 4th of February 26th, the defendant Derek Calella, with intent to transmit and demand for ransom, did transmit an interstate for or foreign commerce or communication containing any demand or request for a ransom or reward for the release of any kidnapped person. On or about the 4th, Derek interstate a foreign communication, made a telephone call and utilized a telecommunications device, whether or not conversation or communication ensues, without disclosing his identity, with intent to abuse, threaten, or harass the specific person in violation. So this was obviously one of the people who did a false ransom note or phone call. Basis of complainant's charge against the accused continued on pages through from 2 to 3. Then it just goes on to the official name here. Someone signed it. United States of America versus Derek Calella. The disappearance of NG. We all know who that is, Nancy Grates. NG was last seen inside her residence in Catalina Foothills community outside Tucson, Arizona on the 31st of January 2026. NG is an 84-year-old woman with mobility issues that's likely to conclude her from walking long distances unassisted. On the morning of February the 1st, 2026, a friend of NG's contacted the victim's family and notified them NG had not attended church that morning. Well, we know she wasn't actually going to a physical church. It was going to be to a friend's house and they were going to do it via Zoom or something. Approximately noon on February the 1st, 26, NG's family entered her residence and determined she was missing and reported her disappearance to law enforcement. The law enforcement arrived shortly thereafter to determine that NG had left basic essentials inside her home, including her wallet, car, cell phone, hearing aid, and medication. NG's blood was found on the outside of her residence near the porch. 2nd of February 26, Cold and CBS affiliate Tucson, Arizona, received a ransom demand via their online tip portal. The demand listed a Bitcoin wallet address to receive the ransom payment. 4th of February 26, NG's family published a video asking NG's kidnappers to contact them about their mother. Counts 1 and 2. On or about the 4th of February 26, shortly after the video was published, AC and TC, the daughter of son-in-law of NG, both separately received a text message from the following number stating, "Did you get the Bitcoin? Waiting on our end for transaction." AC and TC received these texts while in Arizona. Law enforcement was able to determine through open source methods that the 0552 number was associated with a voice over internet protocol VoIP text and call application that allows users to obtain another phone number for their mobile device separate from the number assigned to them by their wireless carrier. Law enforcement submitted an emergency disclosure for requests of the 0552 number based on records provided for the 0552 number was registered to the following email address, which was that email address. The records also indicated that the 0552 number has been assessed from the following IP address, that's the IP address, approximately 2 minutes past 6 in the evening on the 4th of February. Law enforcement submitted an emergency disclosure request to the internet provider for the 103 IP address and determined that the 103 IP address was associated with Calella residents in California. Whew, I don't like reading documents. But you've all got to do things that you don't like sometimes, haven't you? And I've got to keep an eye on time because I've also got a doctor's appointment for blood. Ugh. Right. So United States versus Derek Kalela, I think it is. After Miranda warnings, Kalela admitted sending 2 text messages. He admitted to use the VoIP account from which 2 actual text messages came from him, stated that he pulled the family information from a cyber website and he had been following along and watching TV. When he said that he sent the text messages, he was trying to see if the family would respond. Well, of course the family might respond if you get a text message and your family person's missing, wouldn't you? I think I would. Data received shows approximately 3 minutes after the text message, Kalela, I really apologize if I've pronounced the name wrong, called a family member of the NG, which lasted 9 seconds. So I wonder what was said in the 9 seconds. 2 text messages have not been linked to the February the 2nd ransom demand. So there was that court papers there. And then this isn't all in order, guys, because I've got it here, there, and everywhere, and I've still got to go back to my source to get the screen grabs. So this is another one, a lawsuit. Now, is that the one? A minute. Articles of interviews. Can't even see it up there. So this one here, let's see if you can see what I'm seeing. States Stephen, yeah. So this one here is a document that's under all the documents that come with Nancy Guthrie. Now, I think this was the one I didn't understand too well. And that, so this is a document that I've got, and it was filed on the 17th of October 24, and it's one of 10 pages. Now, I'm not going to read every single 10 pages of this because you will get fed up of my voice. So, United States District Court, District of Arizona, Aaron Cross, individually, and Arizona Conference of the Police and Sheriffs as Arizona non-profit corporation. So it says Chris Nanos, in his official capacity as sheriff of the Pima County. Yes, I know, Harley, the doorbells rang, but it's fine. It's right. I've got a Labrador dog, and she is like my assistant's dog, and she comes up to me and nudges my leg if the doorbell rings. So I always have to praise her every time she does it. So Chris Nanos, in his official capacity as sheriff of the Pima County Sheriff's Department, Juan Carlos Navarro, in his official capacity as captain of the Pima County Sheriff's Department. So verify complaint and petition for preliminary injunction. So the plaintiff, Aaron Cross, and the Arizona Conference of the Police and Sheriffs collectively, where appropriate, the plaintiffs for their complaint against Chris Nanos, Juan Carlos Navarro, collectively, where the appropriate, the defendants allege as follows. So jurisdictional allegations. Jurisdiction is appropriate pursuant to 28 USC. I'm not going to read all these numbers out because that's when they get jumbled up. Because of the plaintiff brings action pursuant 42 USC, don't know if that's money, First and the 14th Amendments of the United States Constitution. This court also has supplemental and or pendant jurisdiction. Over state constitutional, but even common law and statutory claims pursuant This court has jurisdiction of the plaintiff's federal law pursuant. See, this to me is all gobbledygook. You know, it doesn't mean jack shit to me. You know, it just seems to play mind games with your mind when you're trying to read it. So it just says the plaintiff seeks injunctive relief. Venue is proper in this court pursuant. As parties are residents and entities of Pima County and the events underlying this lawsuit in Pima County and the whole district of Arizona, all parties are residents and of or doing business in Arizona. General allegations. Plaintiffs relege and incorporate by this reference their claims and facts and allegations in the paragraphs above as if set forth fully therein. Defendant Chris Nanos is the duly elected sheriff of Pima County with ultimate authority and responsibility to establish policies, practices, customs, procedures, protocols, training for the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Actually, I've just realised I'm not playing anything, so I don't need those heavy headphones on my ears. As an official policymaker, as the elective sheriff, Nanos has official vicarious direct supervisory liability of the PCSD officers and agents and employees. Defendant Juan Carlos Navarro is captain with the PCSD, and in that role he transmits reports and recommendations to the Sheriff Nanos and other sheriffs in Pima County, who rely upon his actions and recommendations, deciding on disciplinary actions and policy interpretations. Well, I wish they could interpret this for me. So plaintiff AZCOPS is statewide organization dedicated to fair representation of law enforcement officers located around the state of Arizona. The plaintiff cross is the AZCOPS member and provides plaintiff with cross legal representations and incurs costs and fees associated with this representation. Plaintiff Aaron Cross is a Pima County Sergeant and State Certified Officer. In April 2024, the defendant, Nanos, initiated an internal investigation and his employees admonished plaintiff Cross due to comments he made during an off-duty interview, only to have the investigation closed after he filed a federal lawsuit. The parties agreed to dismiss the case with prejudice only after the case was mooted by the sheriff seizing the chilling conduct. Excuse me, my voice. So I don't know if this means anything. Because like I said, at the moment, my brain can't accept what this really is about. And then it says, during the incident, no, we missed that bit. On October the 12th, 24, the plaintiff Cross, while off duty, participated in the political event by holding a sign on the public sidewalk which stated, "Deputies do not want Nanos." So I guess this is all trying to get Nanos out of being a sheriff, and that is still happening now, and we're in 2026 and this was in 2024. During the October the 12th political event, the plaintiff Cross was wearing personally owned clothing which, while similar in style and colour to those off-duty deputies, did not bear any insignia or badging associated with the PCSD. He was not wearing any department issued equipment. He had his personally owned gun, handcuffs, and handcuff holder on his belt. No policies of the PCSD or Pima County govern what deputies can wear off duty. During a political event, the plaintiff cross was with another similarly dressed individual who was not an active member of the PCSD. No one present wore any county or PCSD insignia, and to the best of the plaintiff's cross knowledge, no one wore any county or issued equipment. Shortly after the event, the plaintiff cross received a call from Captain Navarro, they never pronounce his name, supervisor within the PCSD, who claimed there had been complaints that a on-duty PCSD employees were engaged in a protest against Sheriff Nanos while in uniform. Plaintiff cross confirmed to Captain N, as I will call him, that he was not on duty at the time of the event and he was not in uniform. Everything he was wearing was personally owned and purchased by him. Captain M gave Plaintiff Cross an order that if he participated in future political events, he could not wear anything which deputies wore while on duty. The Plaintiff Cross asked for the policy which was associated with this order, but it was not provided. Plaintiff Cross asked for this order to be provided in writing, and this request was also denied. October the 14th, 2024, Plaintiff Cross again participated in a political event while off duty, holding the same sign as 2 days earlier. In compliance with Captain N's verbal order, Plaintiff Cross was dressed in a grey Under Armour shirt and khaki BDU style pants, an outfit that, to the best of the Plaintiff Cross knowledge, no one issues or wears while on duty for the PCSD. During the 14th political event, Plaintiff Cross received a phone call and was ordered to appear in his supervisor's office within 30 minutes. So that was pretty strict, saying, right, come in now, you've got half an hour to get here. When Plaintiff Cross arrived at the supervisor's office, he was placed on paid administrative leave for unspecified reason while pending an unspecified investigation. Plaintiff Cross was admonished from communicating to others that he was on administrative leave. So pretty much basically he wasn't allowed to tell anyone in the force that he was on leave. Plaintiff Cross is the head of the Pima County Deputies Organisation, a labour organisation that has the largest number of sworn deputies in Pima County. Plaintiff Cross, which does not allow him to speak out about the fact that he is on administrative leave, has direct impact on his ability to communicate matters of public concern to members of his labour organisation to the public. On the morning of the 15th of October, the Council for Plaintiff Cross sent a letter to Sean, the legal advisor for PCSD, informing him of the events and requesting, based on the fact that the Plaintiff Cross was engaging in political free speech activities and was not in the PCSD uniform, that PCSD removed the Plaintiff Cross from administrative leave and released him by 1500 hours, see attachment A. So yeah, I'm not going to read this all. So then defendants knew the claim that Plaintiff Cross was dressed in department issued attire was false when the PCSO issued media release, because based on the Plaintiff Cross communication with supervisor after the first political event, they were aware everything Plaintiff Cross was wearing and was personally owned and purchased. So as you can see, this is like 10 pages long, and I'm only on the 5th page. So I'll just scroll down a bit. because I'm sure you're all fed up of me trying to read this, and I'm not a document reader, and I don't pretend to be, and I don't think I ever really want to be, not unless my dyslexia gets better. Plaintiff and continues to suffer chilling effects on his right to speak regarding the matters of public concern. The plaintiff, AZCOPS, will have thousands of dollars in legal costs and fees to represent the plaintiff cross in fighting defendants' actions, which do not respect the federal and Arizona constitutional rights of its members. So on here, it's got like count 1 has I'm not going to say it now because I can't say it. But yeah, so there was a big lawsuit going on with this. So I'll scroll through slowly because otherwise I'm going to be here and then I'll have to put it on pause because of my doctor's appointment. So they just go on saying that every person may freely speak, write, and publish on all subjects, being responsible for abuse of that right. So yeah, so this one was a bit boring, but it was just weird how it was all in the same document. So I'll stop sharing that one. Then this is another record that I don't recognize. People that live out in America may know this, but I'm only mentioning it because of it was in the folder for Nancy Guthrie. So it's all related somewhere, somehow. So this is Articles of Organization, limited liability company. So I don't know why this is there, but like I said, someone out there may know exactly what this is. From what I worked out, it was like an insurance company or something. So professional limited liability company services. These are the names that can be an Arizona resident or an Arizona resident entity, and physical or street address, not a PO box. So Brissa Soto. So it goes, is the principal address the same address as the statutory agent? Go to 6. So if we go to 6, manager alleged LC instructions, check this box, but they didn't check that one. But they checked member manage LLC. Check this box. If management of the LLC will be reserved to the members, meaning all members will run the company together if there is no operating agreement stating otherwise, and complete and own and attach only the member structure attachment form, the LO41. All members will be listed on the member structure thing. The filing will be rejected if it is submitted without an attachment. So that is the person's signature a couple years ago. Filing fee was 50 quid. Well, I say £50, $50. All fees are non-fundable. So the entity name was given Posh LLC. And it says Brissa Soto, Raphael thing. Then it says this bit here about entity name, give exact name in the Arizona of the corporation that has appointed the statutory agent. So they've listed that one as the agent and the signatures as well. So I don't understand what that record is actually means, apart from it being a liability insurance company thing. But that's in the documents for Nancy Guthrie. So the other one, did I read each one? So just let me go back on to where I was. I've crossed off so many pages and I've got rid of the one that I needed. So where was it? I've got to find it again. Yeah, so back in 1975, on the 4th of April, let me share this with you. Share screen. Because some of you might not have seen these documents. So this was when she bought the house, I think. Oh no, that's the death certificate, I think. Let's read it. Do not detach certificate from document. So this was done back in 1988, so a very long time ago. Grantor Guthrie Charles and I presume that's deceased, and Grantee Guthrie Nancy. The amount of money they paid, duty officer, the above space for records use only, to be recorded as part of the documents. So it says the affidavit terminating joint tenancy. So this is when Charles died, her husband. So she had to obviously go back to court and get a new, order made up. So it says, excuse me, Nancy L. Guthrie, being the first duly sworn, deposes and says that Charles E. Guthrie died on or about the 6th of the 10th, 88, during the life of the said deceased, and is affiant were the owners of real and personal property located in the Pima County, Arizona, and held by them in joint tenancy described as below. I can't read that, joined up writing. So basically, Nancy and her husband both had their names on the property. And I guess you got to go through courts to get one name taken off because that person is deceased. So the deed, Sylvester title was recorded on the 4th of April, 1975. And then that's the thing. And then this is the order. It's just in, I think the reason why I can't make much of it because it's in gobbledygook to me. No one's at the door, Harley. It's fine. Because I haven't gone to the door. She's still trying to tell me someone was at the door. So yeah, so that just goes on. I'll let you read this because this is in like Spanish, I think. Not that I ever did Spanish at school. The officials, yeah, so that was the document I found there. So what was the other one? So a bit about her husband. Charles Guthrie worked as a mining engineer, suffered a fatal heart attack. Place of death recorded as her Miselo, Mexico. Cause of death listed: cardiorespiratory arrest due to ischemic cardiomyopathy with acute myocardial infarction noted. Nancy Guthrie became the single mother, raising 3 children alone: Annie Guthrie, Cameron Guthrie, Savannah Guthrie. She had to find a job. She had to mother 2 teenagers and 1 adult young. She took care of her mother. Her brother, who had a Down syndrome, invited him to live with us. she worked part-time and turned that into full-time and turned that into a career. Then there's source saying, let me go back to here so you can see it, that she had put a house years ago on market, but this but then it was taken down again. So it's just stating how much it was by the opener. Open Sunday 2 to 5 for viewings, and to phone or call to make an appointment to view the property. So it's like spacious. I guess that's 3,104 square foot, maybe. So that was that one. What was the other sources I was going to do? Oh yeah, when they celebrated Savannah did a tribute for her mum's 80th birthday. That one with you. I need to put headphones. A minute.
In Fort Wright, Kentucky, carrying that family trait of round cheeks and curly hair and blue eyes that continues to this day. She's lived a life of integrity and loyalty. She is a consistent doer of the right thing and the hard thing. She's a truth teller, whether you really want to hear the truth or not. She's quick and she's smart. She's well-read. She's curious about everything. She's daring and adventurous. She's willing to jet off anywhere, and I really do mean jet. She once got in an F-16 for a ride. She has met unthinkable challenges in her life with grit, without self-pity, with determination, and always, always with unshakable faith. She loves us, her family fiercely, and her selflessness and sacrifice for us, her steadfastness and her unmovable confidence is the reason any of us grew up to do anything. She's going to be embarrassed by this, but I hope a little pleased, because when I think of her, I
so
think
this was like
the one she
4 years
about, the woman
ago.
of noble character. It says her children will rise up and call her blessed, and so we do. Happy birthday, Mom!
Happy birthday, Nancy.
She's turning 80. You gotta get a little
By the way,
something.
That was beautiful. And you told me recently that the reason that you were confident that you were going to have Vail was because your mother told you it was going to happen.
Yeah, she did. I believe her. My mom, she's a truth teller, so she doesn't BS. If I guess I can say that. Sorry, Mom. And she, when I was in my 30s and wasn't sure I would ever have kids, she said, "Of course you will, honey.
Nancy,
of course you will have your family."
Wow.
Nancy's also a woman of great
Yeah,
faith.
she is.
And the conversations I've had with her, she always talks about that.
She is. She's an inspiration.
Beautiful.
Happy 80th, Nancy.
Yeah, happy 80th, Mama. Thanks, Today's Show, for letting me do that.
So yeah, so that was the tribute she did to her mum on Nancy's 80th birthday. Where was it? So the thing doesn't come. There was an electricity support final inspection result, but the document that it leads me to isn't the document. So September the 25th of last year, 2025, Pima County Development Services electrical inspections conducted at 5820 N Cameo Tucson permit. And that, so the permit application, that's where that name comes from. The document I read about the Brysa Soto, so that is why it's in the thing. So final inspection result not ready, grounding system verification pending. You can't see this, can you? Let's share this tab. Share screen. Hopefully you can. Why is it not sharing it with you? Bear with. Share screen. It should let you see it. Is that the one? A minute. Well, basically, she had an electrical inspection done on the 25th of September. And it just goes on to say temporary approval to energize granted, final approval pending ground and verification. Existing hashtag 4 copper ground and wires required. Gas bond not visible during inspection. Open conductor noted inside the main disconnect. No site contract available during inspection. And what's this one? That was the interview we've all seen. Bear with me, guys. Yeah, this was another thing I wanted to share with you. This was done her 84th birthday. That's what I was going to say. I've spoken way too much. So that's it there. So Nancy Guthrie's friends long for their partner in Mahjong and life. I play that game. Shortly before her disappearance, Miss Guthrie, the mother of NBC host Savannah Guthrie, was celebrating her 84th birthday and playing games. So we'll see if we can listen so that you can see it. Let's see if we can hear anything.
Nancy Guthrie's friends long for their partner in Mahjong and life. This article is by Nicholas Bogle Burrows and Jack Healy and read by an automated voice. 2 days before she vanished, Nancy Guthrie was sitting at her living room mahjong table with some of her closest friends, a log burning in her fireplace. At 84, she was as competitive as ever as she squared off against younger women she had taught how to play. Before they said goodbye on the afternoon of January 30th, Ms. of the players, Ann Burnson, making sure that they were still on to watch church at a friend's house on Sunday. Their ritual was to gather in the friend's den and watch a recording of the Manhattan service that Ms. Guthrie's youngest child, the NBC host Savannah Guthrie, had attended earlier that morning. They even had wafers and grape juice on hand for communion. But Nancy Guthrie, always punctual, did not arrive at 11 a.m. on February 1st. Her friends texted, then called. They contacted Ms. Guthrie's older daughter, Annie, who rushed to Ms. Guthrie's home. It was empty. Now, nearly 2 weeks after Ms. Guthrie's disappearance, which the authorities have said they are investigating as an abduction, her friends and family say they are refusing to give up hope of finding her alive. Her toughness has always surfaced in difficult moments, like when her husband died suddenly in 1988, or when budget cuts threatened a vital public health service at the university where she worked, or even 2 days before her disappearance, when she insisted on walking to the end of her gravel driveway to get the mail, even if a friend had to help. When they discuss Ms. Guthrie now, friends stop themselves when they accidentally use the past tense. Nancy is, they say. With the search for Ms. Guthrie in its 13th day, her closest friends, some speaking publicly for the first time, are trying to avoid fixating on the ominous details. They know about the blood found on her doorstep, the masked figure with a pistol caught on her doorbell camera, the discarded black gloves found by investigators scouring the desert. Still, they think of the woman who, just days before she disappeared, was speeding through a stack of books, celebrating her birthday with beignets, and laughing at the card table. I keep thinking about every time I'd go in the kitchen door, and she'd be sitting there at the counter, just how her eyes would always light up as soon as she saw me, said Ms. Burnson, who has been friends with Ms. Guthrie for 42 years. That's when you know you have a real friend. Born and raised in northern Kentucky, Ms. Guthrie attended the University of Kentucky, blazing a path as a college journalist decades before Savannah Guthrie would become a morning show fixture on NBC. Nancy Guthrie, then Nancy Long, covered fraternity and sorority life as the society editor of the student newspaper, penning a column called Social Whirl. She and her husband, Charles Guthrie, met on a blind date at a basketball game, Savannah Guthrie has said on her show. They married in 1963, and the family moved to Australia, where Mr. Guthrie worked as a mining engineer. They moved to Arizona and bought a low-slung home in 1975 in the cactus-studded Catalina foothills just north of Tucson, a home Ms. Guthrie has lived in for more than 50 years. She taught Bible study classes, with friends saying she had a special ability to make the lessons applicable to everyday life. She's been a mentor and a teacher and someone that's really quietly shaped the lives of countless people here, said Vicky, 68, who became close friends with Guthrie after meeting her at one such class in 1987. It was her den where the friends watched their Sunday services. In 1988, Mr. Guthrie died of a heart attack, what Savannah Guthrie called a stark dividing line in the family's story. She was 16 at the time. Nancy Guthrie had never worked full-time outside the home, but she landed a job at a small business newspaper, the Daily Territorial, eventually parlaying it into a career at the University of Arizona, which Savannah Guthrie attended, spending college close to home. In the 1980s, Nancy Guthrie also brought her own mother and her older brother Pierce, who had Down syndrome, into a guest house on her property. Ms. Burnson, 66, a retired teacher who has known Ms. Guthrie for more than half of her life, recalls how Ms. Guthrie came to her home one night in 1996 after Ms. Burnson's husband died. Ms. Guthrie told Ms. Burnson to sit on her lap and console her. Colleagues who knew Ms. Guthrie from her time at the University of Arizona said she was a skilled communicator who never chased publicity. When funding cuts threatened to shut down a poison information center in the mid-1990s, she plunged into a campaign to gather 20,000 signatures and urge Arizona politicians to save it, according to Jacqueline Sharkey, a former colleague who organized the effort. It succeeded. Ms. Guthrie left her job at the University of Arizona in 2007 and spent several years afterward serving on an advisory committee for the journalism school. Dave Chulier, a former director of that school, said that Ms. Guthrie kept him in check. She was quick to correct me, Mr. Chulier said. She was just one of those people who you really appreciated getting to work with. For much of her time in Arizona, she embraced the outdoors, playing tennis, hiking, and joining spin classes. She enjoyed cooking for friends and eating out, and would sometimes see movies at an art house cinema. But as she aged, things became more difficult. She told one friend, Chris Federhar, that she never felt comfortable going to a movie theater up a flight of stairs, only half-jokingly referring to it as a fire trap. She had a pacemaker and relied on daily medication, and she began using a cane and powerful hearing aids. In recent years, she often stayed at home, where she kept the windows open in the summer, wrote in her journal on her patio, played Wordle, and read books that publishers had sent to Savannah. But she was still sharp, friends said, and rarely complained about her back pain or other problems. And she still had a buzzing social life, never missing a monthly book club meeting. On January 26, the day before her birthday, Ms. Federhar dropped off a balloon and treats on her doorstep. The next day, Ms. Burnson, who has family roots in New Orleans, set out some nice crystal, cooked shrimp and grits, and made beignets. At the Mahjong game 2 days before her disappearance, Ms. Guthrie was dressed casually on a chilly day, laughing with her friends and, as usual, playing strategically. The next evening, Ms. Guthrie had dinner and played games with her daughter Annie and her son-in-law Tommaso Cioni at their home before Mr. Cioni drove her back to her house. Hours later, her doorbell camera captured the masked man at her door. Messages Ms. Guthrie appears to have posted on the neighborhood app Nextdoor in recent years showed that she was keenly interested in the desert and wondered whether javelinas would eat her periwinkle. She wrote 4 years ago that she was interested in buying a doorbell camera and asked about the best brand. She did not indicate she was concerned for her safety. She said she just wanted to see what animals might wander by at night.
Yeah, so I wish I could get voiceovers like that. So that so when she went to Annie's home, she traveled by Uber, and then on the way home, Annie or Tom Misko drops her off. Garage doors opens. Excuse me. What other reports was it I was gonna show you? That's just some of the news. There were some other things. Let me scroll down. It might say here. Bear with me, guys. Just trying to find the sources. Is this another readable one? Don't want that. Don't want create. Go away. Let's see what happens if I continue with my Google account. Continue. Got to sign up for some bits. I'm not paying for it. No, I ain't paying for that one. So on February 11th, statements from a woman whose home was searched said the detained man is her son-in-law. Let's see if I've missed a bit. Yeah, so it just says statements from woman whose home was searched. She said the detained man is her son-in-law. She said, oh, this was going back to that Spanish guy, wasn't it? They forced it into his home. A minute. Just see what else there was. It's just going through all the detailed timeline. So yeah, I can't find it now, but they said in that spoken one that Nancy had asked about getting a doorbell. I've got that here now. I can show you. Here we go. So this was on the 21st of November last year. Nancy puts in Tucson. I don't know if this is Facebook or the next door neighbor app thing. I'm thinking about buying a Ring or Nest stroke doorbell camera, ? Any suggestions? Which has the best camera? Interested in seeing animal activity at night. And then someone said a trial camera might be cheaper. Barbara said Greg Gaunt and they are great. Had something digging up in our front yard, but could never catch it. Husband set out a trial camera, and it was a pack rat, almost the size of our cat. Never seen one that big before. So that's her home there. That was her missing poster file. This was the Pima County Sheriff Department via the Axon community request saying endangered missing adult. Second request, additional time frame requested. That was her missing citizens alert. That was one of the things. Then that's obviously per thing. That's just some of the old news. Oh God, I got off there. Let me go back onto that source a minute. Sorry, guys. I just clicked the wrong tab. So, yeah, I'm hoping they will soon come up with some credible answers, because this person who didn't want to be found has succeeded in doing a really good job, either throwing the authorities off, trying to make out they were doing this, that, and the other. And then people go on the bandwagon of doing fake ransom notes just for the sake of it, which I think is really sick. I won't play the Nancy Guthrie's interviews, or I could do. Just see if there was anything else. Let me go down to documents. We know about the camera surveillance. Something else I had to show you. I think I showed you that one. Yeah. Oh no, this was what I was going to show you. Bear with. There's so many documents I couldn't get into order. So this is when recorded mail to JP Morgan, Chase Bank, for recorders use only. Deed of trust, resident 1 to 4. Maximum lien. The lien of this deed of trust. Take these flipping headphones. Among Nancy L. Guthrie as trustee on behalf of Nancy L. Guthrie, revocable trust dated the 24th of July 2002, whose address is so and so. The trustor, JP Morgan Chase Bank, NA, whose address is Home Equity Lending Deficiency. That's the address. And then conveyance and grant for valuable consideration. The truster conveys to trustee in trust with the power of sale for the benefit of the lender as beneficiary. All trusters right, title, and interest in and to the following described real property, together with all existing or subsequently erected or affixed buildings, improvements and fixtures, all easements, rights of way, and apertures, tenancies, all water and water rights flowing, belonging, or any way appertaining to the real property. So it just goes on to say about the contractual rights to water. Lot 96 of Catalina Foothills estate number subdivisions. The real property or its address is commonly known as 58. So that's Nancy's home address. And the real property tax identification number is that number. So it just goes on. These are the documents that I often find hard to read into or understand because it's all written above my brain scale. So revolving the line of credit, especially in addition to the amount specified in the indebtedness deficient with limitation, this deed of trust secures a revolving line of credit which obligates the lender to make such advances to the borrower, so as long as the borrower complies with all terms of the credit agreement. So maybe this is the like the mortgage thing, subject of thing, but so borrower, so long as borrower complies with all the terms of the credit agreement, such as advances may be made, repaid, and remade from time to time, subject to the limitation that the total outstanding balance owing at any one time, not including finance charges on such balance at fixed or variable rate or sum as provided in the credit agreement, any temporary overages, other charges, and any other amounts expended or advance as provided in either in the so it says trustor presently assigns to lender, also known as beneficiary in the deed of trust. Rents and personal property is given to secure the payment of the indebtedness thing, performance of each of the truster's agreements and obligations under the credit agreement, the related documents, and this deed of trust. This deed of trust is given and accepted on the following terms. So that's the terms of things. I'm not going to read it all out. Duty to maintain. Trustor shall maintain the property in good condition, promptly perform all repairs, replacements, and maintenance. So that is why we're seeing like the pool person going out there, the grass cutter going out there, because they still got to keep up things, and swimming pools go nasty if you don't keep it up. Let's just see if there's anything out. So nice to see something different, and I do apologize for my way of reading documents, and that, as I said, I don't pretend to be a document reader, never have, never will be, sort of thing. But if I could find a way to get AI to read all of it sometimes, also keeping on my time. So these are trusts. They've got nuisance waste. The trust shall not cause conduct or permit any nuisance or commit permanent or suffer any stripping of waste on or to the property or any portion of the property. So that's just the thing. Due on sale, consent by lender. And the payments, right to contest. Just see if there's anything important to read out to you. I bet some of you are up close to your TV screen reading it and saying, whoa, 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 you go past it. But I don't want to spend too much on this. So lenders expenditures, if truster fails, A, to keep the property free of all taxes, liens, security interest, and other claims, to provide required insurance on the property, to make repairs to the property, then lender may do so. Just seeing if there's anything that sticks out. So it is 11 pages, and I'm just going on to the 6th, 7th page. So I'm not going to read them all out because I'll be here till next year. Agrees to keep lender informed at all times. So what was that bit? Notices. Deed of trust given formal written notice to other person or persons specifying the purpose of the notice is to change the person's address. Non-waiver, supplement to personal property, due on sale. Because I know that she did have her place up for sale, but as quickly as it went up, it was removed quickly. And then Annie and her husband moved like 2 miles away. Environmental laws, personal property. So coming to the end page now, 10 of 11. The truster, the word truster means Nancy L. Guthrie, revocable trust dated on the 24th of July 2002, and Nancy L. Guthrie. Each truster acknowledges having read all the provisions of this deed of trust, and each truster agrees to its terms. So Nancy signed it. And then the state of Arizona is known to be the Nancy Guthrie on the 24th of July 2002 and known to me to be authorized trustee or agent of the trust that is executed in the deed of trust, acknowledged to the deed of trust to be free and voluntary acts and deed therein mentioned, and on oath stated he or she is authorized to execute this deed of trust, in fact executed the deed of trust on behalf of the trust. So that was who signed it, and that was my commission expires thing. So he was obviously getting commission on it. So that was that one. Let me get rid of that one so I don't get confused. Sure there was something else I was going to share with you. That wasn't the one. I do appreciate if you're all still watching me now. No suspect statement. Property record plan. No, we don't need that one. This one. No, so I think that pretty much is all. The only thing I will play is the vehicle of interest. I don't know if they've if it's not what you call it, a vehicle of interest. Just check you can see it.
Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
I'll play that again because I was talking, because I was going to say it's really low volume, but then I haven't got my headphones on. So I'm just going to put my headphones on.
Nancy, a white female, 84 years of age, 5'2" medium build, powder blue. Nancy has high blood pressure, pacemaker, and cardiac issues.
Yeah, so not a great deal, was it? Don't say I got rid of the tab. Oh, buggerlugs. I always close the wrong tabs down. I'm such an idiot. Right, I just want to know that would have been it. So, I'm hoping we'll find Nancy soon. I really do. Oh gosh, look at my hair. It's right mess. Yeah, so I don't know how long it'll take, if they ever will find Nancy. And even if they find the person responsible for Nancy, when he's interviewed, he could go no comment all the way through. There's no laws that forces him to explain what he did and what happened to Nancy and the day-to-day things, on how she was. So there's nothing set in stone that's going to make him speak. If they do catch the suspect and arrest him, because they'll have all the evidence to tie him down to it, he could take this to his grave, and not give up any information at all, which would be really sad for the Guthrie's family. And I did hear, I want to say it was the brother, or maybe it was Tomisco, when Nancy went missing and they turned up at the house and they looked around the house. So obviously they may have disturbed a few things when they went in to do the walk round. But I think it was the brother, or it might have been the brother-in-law, who quickly said, this is a kidnapping for ransom. You could understand someone say, yeah, it's a kidnapping. Maybe they just automatically thought because of their worth, what the Guthrie family's worth individually. Like, we know Annie and that hasn't got no money, but Savannah and Nancy definitely had some money. he might have come to that conclusion because, you know, between the family members, there's quite a bit of money. So that's why he may have said she's kidnapped for ransom. Or he might have said she's kidnapped for ransom because she's been on the morning show sort of thing. So I hope some of that's brought some news to you. There is so many past documents I could go through, like a marriage certificate and things like that. But a couple of those documents that I don't understand, you know, I hope someone can work that out for me because I don't understand it. And the deed of trust, I presume, I've never bought a house. I know my ex-husband did, but I never really glanced over the paperwork. So I presume the deed of trust is all to do with Nancy when she bought the home. So, as I said, thank you very much. If there's any cases you want me to follow and to find some research into it, my email's at the bottom there. It's truecrimefiles2026@gmail.com. So I will finish this now, and it's pretty good because it's nearly 1:30 and my appointment's at 2:10, and it's only 10 minutes up the road. So right, thank you all very much for watching and being patient with me. And once again, I apologize if I don't pronounce words right or get tongue-tied, but that's just down to my dyslexia. I don't want to keep on making excuses about it, but someone that doesn't know that I have dyslexia may sort of like poke fun at me and, you know, say, she can't read, she can't pronounce this. So, you know, I find it necessary on some videos where there's a lot of documents, I have to say about the dyslexia, guys. So once again, thanks very much for staying with me and watching this. I do appreciate it. And if you could click like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Bye now.